Well guys, as we have illegals who are fighting to stay in America, we also have American citizens who can't wait to get out. Let's go ahead and take a look.
All these people holding up the Mexican flag, but nobody wants to live in Mexico. If we wouldn't want to live in Mexico, then why do the tios, the señores, the men, and the women too? They be working here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They just live in one room sharing it with a bunch of dudes. They send all their money back so they can build houses for their families, and they can't wait. They're just counting down the minutes in a year until when they can actually go back. Even las familias that live here, buying houses over there too. Every Mexican that I know own their houses here. They buy a house in Mexico too. They're building it or they're already bought it. So yes, nobody wants to live in the United States. I was born in the United States and I don't want to live in the United States. The next 5 years, I'm moving back to Mexico. Yes, we do want to live in Mexico. The only thing is that we're just making money here so we can actually go back to live in Mexico. Bitch, ain't nobody trying to live in this sweatshop of a country with a Gucci belt on.
Then get out. Nobody's holding you back. Instead of being thankful to God that you're able to have an opportunity to make American dollars and take it back to Mexico so that you can build your home, you're over here talking shit. Like, so ungrateful, honestly. And you're moving back to Mexico, good fucking luck with the 200 pesos that you're gonna be making over there a day, which is pretty much like, what, $15? What are you gonna buy with $15? Because once you run out of your American dollars, you're gonna be just as poor as anyone else in Mexico. And another thing, guys, that I lived almost my entire life in a border city, which was Calexico and Mexicali border. And I know exactly what type of girl this is. Literally, this is the type of girl that would go to Mexicali and they would be showing up in their brand new SUVs, you know, flashing their Coach, their Louis V and all this. And then they would think that they're like better than everyone else in there, right? Oh, and they're in Mexico and they literally can't even speak Spanish. So they're over there and they're like, oh, my Spanish is not good because I'm from America. I speak English. I like to speak English, right? And then when they're over there, they act all uptight and privileged and shit. Like when it comes to getting real, in Mexico, guys, there's still places where you need a shit in a hole. There's literally areas in Mexico that are poor. And a lot of girls that are saying all this stuff in the internet, they're from those places. And so when they actually have to take a shit in a hole or a PB, whatever they call it, they're too good for that. They don't want to do that. Or when they have to take a cold shower because, you know, there's no hot water, stuff like that. I mean, my family is from there and I visit a lot over there. And when I go over there, sometimes I don't have hot showers and I just have to shower like that. And what am I going to do? Complain? It is what it is. And sometimes I just feel like these girls, they just talk out of their ass and they claim all this stuff, right? How Mexico is better and all this shit, but they can't even make a living in Mexico. So, you know, the only reason why they can even make it work in Mexico for a short amount of time is because they have the American dollars. So shut the fuck up. And let's go ahead and move on.
Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball.
Who says that shit? Like nobody ever thinks that.
Music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just moved here because we're looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day, not an hour, a day in Mexico is not even $15 American dollars? Not even 15 American dollars. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support families getting destroyed, I hope you rot in hell. And I will see you there, babes, for sure.
This girl's just stupid, literally. I hope you rot in hell and I will see you there. So you're gonna rot in hell too? Like, and you see, guys, she just enlightened us about another reason why we don't want illegal people in our country. So we're over here thinking that they're escaping their oppressed governments, but I guess that's not it. And like I mentioned before, I am from a small town there in California, and pretty much I grew up at the border between Calexico and Mexicali. And let me tell you guys, the amount of fraud that happens there is insane. Like the amount of people I would see all the time just crossing the border back and forth and they will live in Mexico receiving benefits from the United States, it's crazy. Like, a lot of these people literally are just stealing from us. I don't even understand how, like, these people are not caught. But there were women also that would get pregnant, and they would literally like wait until their last months before they had to give birth so that they could come over here, whether with their visa or they would get a work permit, and then they would have their children here just so they would get benefits from the government. And then they would claim an address here, and then they would just go right back to Mexico where they had their husband and all of that. And so they were literally just living off of the government in America while they were in Mexico. And do you really think that these people want to live in Mexico? No. Mexico is shit. People are literally abducted by the cartels there all the time, children as well, and they're doing organ harvesting, all kinds of things. The government there is pretty much part of the cartel, and there's so much corruption there. And some would say, you see, this is why we are trying to help illegal immigrants come over here, because they're trying to get away from all these criminals and all this oppression from the government. Oh yeah, so that's how you end up with a bunch of child molesters, murderers, and traffickers over here. So when these people come out here and say, oh yeah, do you really think we want to live in America? The only reason why they go back is because they have their family over there. But if they were able to bring their family over here, trust me, they will bring them and stay here. And look at MS-13. There's a bunch of them in America. Yeah, they got rid of a bunch of them too, but I mean, I'm sure there's still some out there. And then they come here to America to commit crimes to people that were minding their own business, like Rachel Morin. But all of this sounds like a personal problem. If they want change in their country, then they need to fight their own revolution just like we did, because we are not the saviors of humanity. They have to do it for themselves. All right, guys, so this next guy was actually asked on his comments, as a Mexican, do not change anything and respect the culture and people, and you will be fine. So I guess this is a guy that's trying to move to Mexico, and so he announced it, and this is one of the comments that he got from one of his followers or whatever. Let's go ahead and see what he says, though.
We don't plan to. The point of us leaving the United States is because we are escaping a toxic culture.
So
to
toxic.
Embrace a culture that is welcoming and empathetic and loving, that focuses on family and community. We fell in love with Mexican culture years ago, and that's why we continuously return to Mexico. I got this comment a lot, actually, in my last video about respecting the culture, don't change anything. If we're MAGA, to not hang up flags. That was farthest from the truth. We are definitely not MAGA, and that's one of the reasons we're actually leaving the United States, is because where we currently live, we're surrounded by it, and we don't believe in it, and we think it's a cult, and we're trying to escape that. I mean, we could stay here and fight for our equal rights, but we just want to enjoy life. We want a slower pace of life to enjoy. Another question was, how are we going to make money? And I get that. That's a lot of people want to know how we're going to make money. And I guess kind of a personal question, but I guess since we're open on TikTok anyway, I guess I could answer that. We're fortunate enough to have planned for this move, and we won't be working for a little bit. Taking the time to adjust to the Mexican culture, to the slower life, enjoy time with our family, and explore the country, because there's so much that Mexico offers. And we're just taking this time to decompress this toxic go, go, go feeling that we always have. We've been working forever, and we can never seem to get ahead. And it's just, we're decided to sell everything that we own, our cars, our home, our belongings, and just try something else. We're just doing a life reset, and hopefully you can respect that. Welcome us, because we don't plan to change anything about,
of course you're not,
about your country, about your culture. Embrace it. We hope that you accept it.
Of course he's not going to change anything in Mexico, because Mexicans are not stupid. They're not going to let you go and invade their country and change their laws and change their ideologies. Let's take a look, because he's saying that Mexico is so friendly and welcoming, right? Let's see. So this next video, guys, is actually in Spanish, but I did put some subtitles in there, so just bear with me. So you can see what Mexican citizens over there really think about immigration in their country.
Esta tarde hubo una marcha en la Ciudad de México contra la gentrificación. Algunos asistentes realizaron actos de vandalismo en su recorrido desde las colonias Roma y Condesa hacia el Paseo de la Reforma. Rompieron vidrios y mobiliario de negocios en protesta por los desplazamientos que han padecido por años. Es decir, rentan un departamento, les triplican las rentas y esto les obliga a irse a las afueras de la Ciudad de México, a encontrar un lugar donde vivir con sus familias, pasar horas en el tráfico por este efecto gentrificador. Insultaron a turistas, sobre todo estadounidenses, turistas que se encontraban pues en la calle. Incluso, esta es una escena que se grabó con el youtuber Luisito Comunica y mire cómo le fue.
I would be scared if I was there right now, especially because it's Mexico. They're literally telling him all kinds of like insulting
Teníamos un
words.
negocio aquí en la colonia Roma, en Mérida 83, 54 años de una tortería tradicional y fuimos desalojadas. Se convirtió en un Airbnb. Ahora yo tengo que batallar por una vivienda porque ahí también vivía y nos quedamos muy pobres.
Menús en inglés. Las salsas han bajado el picor. Los empleados de los servicios tienen que hablar inglés. En lugar de que ellos hagan el esfuerzo, si van a estar aquí de aprender español, los de aquí tienen que aprender inglés para poderlos atender.
You guys don't like it either. What a shocker, right? Like, it's the same thing that we are talking about. Like, we don't want people invading our country. We don't want you to come over here and trying to change our language. If you're going to come to America, then learn English, which is the same thing this lady was saying, right? If you're going to come to Mexico, learn Spanish, and that's her right. And I totally understand, because if you're going to another country, why are you expecting that country to change just for you? If you're pretty much the foreigner there. And there you go, guy. So Mexico doesn't want you there either. And the exact same reason you're running from America is the same thing is going on in Mexico. So it's not going to change that much. Nobody likes their country to be invaded. Nobody wants people coming over here and trying to change their laws and trying to change their living situation and all of this. Nobody likes that. And you guys even heard that lady, right? If you're going to come to Mexico, you better learn Spanish. Because why do they have to learn to speak English when you are the one coming to their country? It's the same thing that we say. But we are racist and we are wrong because we say the truth pretty much. But let's go ahead and move on.
My 5-year plan has changed so drastically, I do not see myself living in the U.S. within the next 5 years anymore. I really don't. I gotta get the fuck from around here. I cannot do this. Hell no. Like, yes, it is so scary to think about leaving the only country I've known my entire life of 27 years. But as I get older and I see how this country operates, I don't want no parts. I want zero to do with it. Oh my gosh, it is so annoying. To think that I could turn 75 one day and I need some type of operation or some shit because I'm old. I go to my insurance provider to cover the fucking procedure and they talking about some denied. Denied? What do you mean denied? Bitch, I need a new heart. Like, it's so insane to see how people are living in China. You know what I'm saying? And then they look at us like, y'all don't have health care?
Oh, God.
Y'all get sick, don't you? How don't you have health care? And we're like, great question. Great question. Government? They basically said they don't give a fuck. What kind of shit is that? Like, it literally blows my mind. Growing up, I thought the U.S. was that girl. I thought the whole world wanted to be us. You know, I thought everybody want to come here, so we must be the place to be. Then growing up and seeing this fucking dumpster fire of a fucking country. Like, are you kidding me?
They want everything
Y'all
for free.
So overhyped yourselves. It's embarrassing, actually. And then we go to China and we see China. They're like, yeah, y'all, shit been fucked up. I don't know what y'all been hearing. Lies, apparently.
Like, why do they always have to bring China up, right? Like, if China is this freaking role model of a country, If he was in China right now, he would not be able to speak that freely as he's doing right now. They literally spy on their citizens. They rely on the social credit score that's gonna determine how good of a person you are and what things you can and can't do. And they literally locked up people without food in their homes during COVID. So don't come over here trying to compare us to China, because China is a communist country where a bunch of Chinese people are literally trying to come to America because their government is so oppressing, and then you're trying to bring China up like if there's some type of fucking role model, literally. Like, you're just retarded. Like, I don't even know. These people literally, I feel like it's also their inexperience. They've never lived outside of the United States. And then they just go based on what they see in the internet. And they just think that, oh, look, everyone's having a great life in China. No, it's not like that. Let's go ahead and move on.
Sometimes I just feel like it's time to give up on this country. I mean, it is just being ripped apart every day. The people are divided.
That's great.
More and more. The cost of everything is getting higher and higher. And it doesn't really feel like there's anything to save at this point except for nostalgia. Things from the past. Because the truth is, the best days of our country are behind us. Whatever the future is going to be in this country is going to be a long time from now, because all we know is that just prolonged chaos is what's ahead of us. Because the question has to be asked now, who even are we as a country? Can you even tell me what an American is? Can you even tell me what it is to be an American? This country means nothing anymore.
Like I said, guys.
The America that we knew is a memory. When we think of what America is, we're talking about the past. A past that's usually created because it never actually existed. The idea of America's greatness is an idea only in our heads, because the history of our country is so marred with brutality, both on people from abroad and people in our country. There's no time of plenty. There were times that were easier, sure. But where was this great time where all Americans thrived, where everything was good, where we were a nation at peace? Because in my lifetime, I can't remember a time that we were truly in peace. We're always involved in something somewhere. But for a lot of Americans, there's this deep veil of denial that comes through a lifetime of indoctrination. This idea that we are the greatest country on the planet. This idea that Americans themselves have some kind of special power that other people don't have in this world.
This is the type of guy you don't want to listen to. Everything is so doom and gloom. Imagine how pessimistic you have to be that you live in the best country in the world and that's still not even good enough for you. Maybe instead of spreading so much negativity, you should use your platform to motivate Americans to make this country better. There's always going to be something going on in this world, no matter where you are. Like, there's always going to be some type of chaos going on. And what does he want? A utopia where everything's just perfect? At least right now, I can still get a laugh once in a while when a liberal decides to do some stupid shit and I can laugh, right? And what is an American, he asks? Obviously not somebody like you, sir. And this is literally why we just can't be taking any type of people in this country, because they come over here and bring this victim mentality that sooner or later is just gonna consume us all. This mentality is literally what destroys a nation. An American is a citizen that is proud of their country, and they will protect it in the good and the bad, and they will fight for it, and they will take no shit from anyone. In short, God, family, and country, sir. When I got deliberalized, guys, that's what I call it, deliberalized, I realized that we were gonna go through a lot of things. And I realized that sometimes it wasn't gonna be easy. Sometimes maybe we were gonna be in a situation where maybe, you know, we had no food, we had no power, maybe we were struggling with, you know, making our ends meet or whatever. But I'm willing to take that risk, because if it means that's going to help us save our country, I don't care. If my neighbor didn't prepare and doesn't have any food saved and the apocalypse comes and I have to lend a hand to him, I'll do it. It's okay. I'm not just gonna give up and say, oh, well, you see, it's all the government's fault. And yes, our country is not perfect. And, you know, we've had a lot of people in the government that have made really bad decisions for us that has taken us to this point. But not because of that, it means that there's no more hope. And that's why we elected our president, because we are tired of this. And even if Trump, for some reason, doesn't get to fulfill his promise or whatever, we will find a way, even if it means doing it ourselves, no matter what the cost is, to get rid of this scum once and for all. Because there's no way I'm letting a 1984 future happen for my kids.
You want to know what's funny in the most unironic way is I hate America so much. The quality of life is so bad that I'd be willing to commit treason for free. I'd be giving away government secrets.
I hate
like
America,
it's a
he
Black
says.
Friday deal. You know, my little jingle would be, it's the season for some treason. I would do anything to get out of this country.
Yeah, you will probably get out of this country and also out of your existence, because treason is usually punishable by death. Just saying. Well, guys, don't be like any of the guys that I just showed you today, because God put us here for a reason. And so we just gotta keep moving no matter what happens. We gotta keep pushing. And, you know, our parents didn't raise no fucking pussies. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave you guys with this.
If you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.